Okay, hello, good morning. A little bit late today. I was recording a podcast yesterday, and then I'm a little bit late because we typically have a few beers, and yeah. Anyways, we were deep into updating our app here. We have our backlog items, and what we need to do next is basically allow you to click these things. So let's close down a few things here. Let's see. Oh, I have a lot of stuff open here. Let's see. Close all. Let's get into this. Okay, so we have... Yeah, so there are two things we need to handle here. It's actually choosing a day. And then it's also looking at the get days of previous week. So I think we're going to try this first. So basically what we need to do is... how do we do this? So what we want to do is we want to show, indicate that we actually did this the last week on that same day. And to do that, we have all the dates of the last week. And then, we need to go in here in our days, and we need to find the specific day. No, how do we do this? Let's look in the dev tools here. Because we have the days, which is backlog items by day. But do we have like a data structure for looking into specific days? No. We don't have that. Maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking about this the wrong way. So we have days by profile UID. This is what we need to look at. So here we have all the days as like a map or a dictionary where each key, let's see, days, backlog item ID. Oh, so this should not be like this. This should be like this. Days by profile ID. It's an array. Yeah, sorry. It's an array. And then we just need to look at, does any of these days reside within that thing? I think. Yeah, basically we have active days and then we have disabled days. So basically we need to find our disabled days. And we do that by... what the fudge? Yeah, I think my brain is a little bit slow today. Because this is where we go through all the profiles. So in this case it's only me. But this is where we grab the active days. And now we need the disabled weekdays. And to do that we need to get days of previous week. And then get active. Oh, did I create like a... Oh, cool. So I created something for this. So we'll do the same here. Let's copy this. Get disabled weekdays. And this is previous week dates. So what we want to do, we get disabled weekdays. So what do we want to do here? Get active weekdays. Okay, so here to get the active ones, we're just grabbing the weekdays of the... Oh my god, my brain is seriously not working today. This is not good. We're having an offsite week at Code Sandbox, going into culture and the roadmap. And today we're going to talk about the roadmap, and I have a non-functioning brain. That's not a good thing. Hopefully I'll get around. But anyways, because here we just pass in days by profile UID. So this is the array of the active dates. And then we pass in the current week. Oh, we get the previous week dates. Sorry. So we don't need this. We actually get them. Which means we need to know if I guess we need to pass in the same thing. The problem is that we don't really have an array that tells us like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We only have these dates, which makes it a little bit tricky. But we'll try to get around this. Previous week dates. Oh my god. So we're getting the... What are we getting? We're getting the dates of the user, like the active ones. And then we try to filter out... Yeah, the problem... Okay, so the problem is that we are getting the dates of... How the hell do we do this? We want to return an array. Active weekdays. Oh, get day, sorry. Yeah, so get day gives us the index. Yeah, but this is okay, I think. Yeah, this doesn't matter because we just want to get the day, right? It doesn't matter what the date is. So we go through the dates we pass in, which is on the user, which holds any active days of the previous week, and then we filter out the dates that matches the previous week, and then we map. We're just grabbing the day again, just like we do up here. It doesn't matter. So we actually don't need to, for fuck's sake, get weekdays. Weekdates, we can use the same thing. Active weekdays, and then disabled weekdays, because that's just based on the previous week. Yeah, so this should just work. So now what we're passing in here is an array with indexes of like what days or what which one of these should be kind of colored based on active or colored differently based on like disabled. Well, I guess disabled is the wrong term. It's not going to be disabled. It's just going to indicate that you did this thing the last week. So active weekdays, previously active weekdays. That's kind of the thing. Yeah, let's try to implement that. Previously active weekdays. So we have previously active weekdays. And that's also a numbered array. And that means that if... okay, let's just give it a color here. So if active weekdays includes the weekday index, we want to color it. But then we can also take a look at if previously, so if we did it the last time and we do it this week, of course we want to indicate it as I'm doing it this week. But if you're not doing it this week, we still want to indicate if you did it last week. So weekday index. And here we also want to do this, but instead of, let's see, instead of color here, let's just do red, just to give like an indication. Yeah, it's actually working. So this is what we did. When we worked on this last week, we activated some weekdays. And now we can see what we actually activated last week. So this is awesome. It's working. And we have a pretty nice code for that. We could probably make this a util. Get weekday indexes. Yeah, let's call it that. Get weekday indexes. And then we'll move this into our utils. Export that. And then parse. Cool. Get weekday, oops, the indexes, and we should be back. Let's see. Yes, cool. Wow, this isn't the most epic UI, that's for sure. Okay, that's good. So now we have our, yeah, let's give this stuff a color. So, yeah, I guess we're just using that thing. So do we have, did I add like a color? I think I added like this gray color. So if we just say gray here, yeah. Or maybe we can give it like some transparency or something. I don't know. Let's just keep it like that. What we are missing here is the on click, because that triggers the on change, and we don't have any on change here yet. So what we want to do when you tap this on change, we want to call an action which toggles the day, and I believe we already have that, or kind of have that. So we already, when we create a new backlog item, we have the toggling, but this is related to creating a new one. So now it's different. Now we rather want to toggle on an existing one, because in this case we're just, yeah, we're optimistically preparing a new one before it's even ready, and we're just being very explicit here with the state. We are not like creating a model, like an optimistic model, and then kind of using the same functionality, which is typically a good thing. Like I remember back in the day with like Backbone, everything was like a model, and then you could just create a model and then you would attach some methods to update that. But in this world we are living in now, it's kind of, we separate the state from the logic. So you have your state at some point, and then you have your logic somewhere else, and then you do this more manual thing, for better and for worse. But yeah, I think we're just going to create a new thing, because what we really want to do is set backlog item on weekday. This is the thing we want to do, this effect here. So I think we're just going to expose a new action here. what set backlog item on weekday. What should we call this? Toggle backlog item weekday. And I know I'm like not being consistent on like a big D, like or uppercase D or lowercase d, which is annoying me a little bit, but it's very typical. Okay, so we have our state and our effects here. And then we basically want to call this effect. But we need to pass in. Okay, so now the question is, should you be allowed to toggle the days of other people? So when I started creating the app, that was not possible. You could only manipulate your own weekday or weekdays. But then I think my girlfriend was like out of power on her phone, so I kind of have to do it for her. So I changed that logic, but that turned out to be super complicated because then two people could change the same state. So you got this really weird behavior where where I kind of started to click her items when she got her phone back, and then she did the same, so it would like toggle on and off very quickly. So that was a really bad experience. And also the whole point here is that by tapping on this day, something happens in your brain. You're committing to that task that day. So we're moving away from that. And again, now that we're doing it on the web, if you don't have your phone, you can just go on any device really and use the app there. So we are only going to allow you to do it on your own. Okay, so we know we don't need to pass in the profile here at all, because we can grab that from the state. So basically profile will be state auth. Yeah, so we need to check that. If state auth matches authenticated, we can only do this when we're authenticated. We can go and grab the profile. Oh, this is nice. I'm starting to like this state machine API a lot, actually. Because you start out a piece of logic by saying when the application is in this state. And then you get all the typing for free. And then you just do your thing. I really like this. I'm going to, with the next release of Overmind, I'm going to write an article on this. Like a guide on how to use them. Anyways. So what we do have to pass in here is what weekday did we toggle? And the question is get current weekday ID. Yeah, so this is the question. Like now we have this get current weekday ID, and this basically just looks at the current week, but we might be toggling for the next week, which means that we should probably just pass in get current weekday. Yeah, so get current weekday ID basically means give me the date. So let's just pass in the date here instead. And then backlog item ID. And then we get that here, date, backlog item ID. Because we already have the date ready now. And backlog item ID. Okay, so now we are toggling this thing. The question is, we need to also like unset it. Do we have an effect for that? Oh, we're getting close to the end here. Okay, so maybe we should just set backlog. Oh yeah, delete a field. Yeah, so this is, we haven't implemented this effect yet, but let's implement, try to finish add like toggling on. So we have that, and now we have actions, and then we have our date, which is basically on change. What do we get here? We get the weekday index, and we need to convert that into Yeah. So this is where we need to get current weekday ID. So we would have to implement like get next current weekday. Yeah, a kind of weird name on that, because it basically means get the weekday ID of this index on the current week, but we're going to implement like for next week as well. Day index, and then we need to pass in the backlog ID, days by profile UID. Where do I know? Oh yeah, of course, that's ID, backlog item. Oh, what was it called? Backlog item ID. That's just the ID. Okay, cool. I think this is it. I wonder what will happen now. Let's try it out. So I'm here. I want to do something there. Oh, it freaking worked. What do you know? Okay, so we're seeing here we are passing in. What did I do? Thursday, which is tomorrow. Yeah, it's the 17th. So we see here 2020-09-17. This is the backlog item ID. And then Firebase gives us an update where I don't remember what was the XDF. Oh, here. So now, yeah, it says it's active on the 17th. That's pretty awesome. But did you notice? It actually took some time. So I click. Well, okay, it's pretty fast. But I don't think it synchronously updates the cache. Like the optimistic cache. That's something I really want to explore. Because I want that to feel like it happens instantly. It's not based on how fast your internet connection is. But we can just add the date. Like we can fake the weekdays update, kinda. Anyways, but this is cool. It's actually working now. This is really awesome. So all we need to do next time is to be able to untoggle because we can't do that now. And then we're pretty much set for, yeah, this is moving really fast now. We have totally got the core of the application in. And working on the next week is basically just changing out like get next week day ID. It works basically the same. So this is really awesome. So that will be there. That will be like planning the next week. And then this part will show like the current day. What are your plans this day? And then you can like swipe over and see like the next days. And then we're pretty much, well, we're not done because we need to create a family sync functionality. So we already got the server-side code for that because that's like that's a function in Firebase. But we need to actually implement UI for this to like sync up with a family member, and it's really cool how it works. And I'll show you that. We have to look at the code for that, and that is actually web-based already. So we just need to kind of copy that in. So that's cool. Anyways, this is awesome. I just realized we're gotten really far actually. But yeah, that's it for now. We'll talk more tomorrow, and I'm going to take a shower and try to get my brain to work again. And then we'll see each other tomorrow. Bye for now.